Chapter 10. Fangs of the River. The air hung thick and heavy, a suffocating blanket woven from the humid breath of the unseen. The river, once a source of life, now pulsed with a malevolent energy, its surface unnaturally still, reflecting the oppressive sky like a distorted mirror. The roar of the distant waterfall was a constant, throbbing reminder of the precipice that awaited, both physical and metaphorical. Madness clung to the banks, whispering promises of oblivion in the rustling reeds. This was a place where sanity came to die, a place where the veil between worlds thinned, and horrors seeped through. Vargoth, designated Specimen A, emerged from the shadowy depths of the forest, his sleek dark blue hide shimmering with unsettling iridescence. Pale blue eyes, cold and calculating, scanned the desolate landscape, radiating an intelligence that bordered on the demonic. He moved with a sinuous grace, a predator perfected, a nightmare given flesh. The air around him seemed to vibrate with an unspoken threat, a palpable aura of cruelty that could chill the blood to ice. He paused at the river's edge, a disturbing stillness about him, as if contemplating the symphony of suffering he was about to conduct. A low growl rumbled in his throat, a sound that promised pain and violation. He was a creature of pure, unadulterated malevolence, and the world around him was his playground, a canvas upon which he painted his grotesque masterpiece. The calm surface of the river shattered, not with a ripple, but with a tearing, frenzied eruption. Razor-sharp teeth, metallic and iron-coated, sprouted from the water, snapping and gnashing with a hunger that defied comprehension. The river had become a living trap, a sentient horror eager to drag its victims into the murky depths. A scream, abruptly cut short, echoed across the water. A foolish soul, drawn to the deceptive stillness, had become the river's first offering. Vargoth watched with detached amusement, his pale eyes reflecting the gruesome spectacle. He was a connoisseur of carnage, an artist of agony, and the river was merely his morbid collaborator. He waded into the water, the monstrous teeth parting before him as if acknowledging their master. He moved with deliberate purpose, seeking out any stray, terrified creatures that dared approach the river's edge. Their apprehension provided him with motivation, their suffering a sense of satisfaction. Vargoth stood panting on the riverbank, his body already motivated, his dark blue hide covered in blood. He had started a mass slaughter, but the attack felt hollow, tainted by the lingering taste of violence and the haunting echoes of his own depravity. The roar of the waterfall filled the silence, a constant reminder of the precipice that awaited, the spire of sickness that beckoned him forward. He knew that this was just the beginning. The horrors were far from over. He knew the chaos wouldn't bring peace. It wouldn't stop the spreading dread, the creeping virus that twisted minds and bodies. It wouldn't erase the images that danced behind his pale blue eyes, the phantom screams that echoed in his skull. He was the virus, the carrier of madness, and his rampage was far from over. He emerged from the river, his wounds already beginning to knit and heal with unnatural speed. He paused, sniffing the air, his senses attuned to the faintest scent of fear, of vulnerability. He detected it, a small village upstream, nestled near the edge of the forest, a perfect hunting ground. He moved with renewed purpose, his sinuous body gliding through the undergrowth, a shadow among shadows. He was a predator in his prime, fueled by a hunger that could never be satisfied, a thirst for suffering that burned eternally within him. As he approached the village, he could hear the faint sounds of life, children laughing, women singing, men talking. The banality of it all disgusted him. He would shatter their fragile peace, tear apart their idyllic existence, and leave them broken and weeping in the ashes of their hopes. He waited until nightfall, until the village was shrouded in darkness, before launching his assault. He moved swiftly and silently, a wraith of blue death, his claws dripping with an unseen venom that amplified the terror he inflicted. He began with the livestock, slaughtering them with brutal efficiency. their panicked cries sending ripples of unease through the village. Then he turned his attention to the inhabitants. He stalked through the village, choosing his victims with sadistic care. He savored their fear, their desperation, their futile attempts to escape. He toyed with them, letting them believe they had a chance, before crushing their hopes with a swift, merciless blow. He killed indiscriminately, men, women, and children, their blood painting the dusty ground a gruesome crimson. He reveled in the chaos, in the screams, in the utter destruction he wrought. But death was not enough. He needed to defile, to corrupt, to spread his seed of madness. He dragged his chosen victims into the shadows, their struggles futile against his superior strength. He raped them, defiling their bodies, their minds, their very souls. He left them broken and weeping, hollow shells of their former selves, infected with the virus that raged within him. He painted the village walls with grotesque imagery, with symbols of pain and despair, with twisted parodies of human form. He transformed their sanctuary into a charnel house, a testament to his depravity. As the first rays of dawn began to pierce the darkness, Vargoth surveyed his handiwork. The village was a ruin, a wasteland of blood and despair. The air was thick with the stench of death and the cries of the few survivors, their minds shattered, their bodies broken, their spirits crushed. He felt a surge of satisfaction, a fleeting moment of pleasure. But it was never enough. The hunger always remained, a bottomless pit in his soul that could never be filled. He melted back into the jungle, leaving behind a trail of carnage and despair. He knew he would strike again, that he would continue his rampage until the entire world was consumed by darkness. He was a shadow of evil, a plague upon humanity, and nothing could stop him. He carried the virus within him, the seed of madness, and he would spread it far and wide. He would corrupt and destroy, until there was nothing left but chaos and despair. He was Vargoth, the Nocturniverser, and his reign of terror had only just begun. The sun climbed higher, casting long, distorted shadows across the ravaged landscape, a silent testament to the horrors that had transpired. The air, once filled with the sounds of life, was now heavy with the weight of death, a chilling prelude to the darkness that was yet to come. The river, its fangs satiated for now, flowed onward, carrying the echoes of screams and the promise of further carnage, a grim artery in the heart of Vargoth's growing kingdom of horror. The air itself felt poisoned. The moon, a sliver of bone in a sky bruised violet, cast long, distorted shadows that writhed and whispered, conjuring the shapes of the night's horrors anew. Dawn, when it finally arrived, offered no solace, only revealing the full, unvarnished ugliness of Vargoth's rampage. The cobbled streets of Oakhaven, usually bustling with the chatter of merchants and the laughter of children, were now slick with a sheen that was not rainwater. Clusters of townsfolk, pale and trembling, huddled together, their faces etched with a primal terror that transcended mere grief. The market square, once the vibrant heart of the town, was a charnel house. Limbs lay at unnatural angles, bodies torn and mangled, as if by a beast of impossible strength. The scent of copper and something acrid, a metallic tang of profound violation, clung to everything. Children, if they were lucky enough to have survived, wept inconsolably in their parents' arms, their innocence shattered by images no human eye should ever witness. Those who tried to identify their dead did so with a silent, horrified resolve, their hands shaking as they reached for a familiar scrap of cloth, a missing locket, anything that might confirm the unspeakable. By mid-morning, the town guard, a paltry force usually tasked with chasing down petty thieves and drunken brawlers, found themselves utterly overwhelmed. Their faces, gray and drawn, mirrored the town's despair. They moved cautiously through the devastation, their weapons clutched in white-knuckled grips, as if expecting the monster to re-emerge from the shadows it had created. News of the unprecedented brutality had, miraculously, reached the regional capital's ears by sunrise, carried by a lone, terrified rider pushed to the brink of collapse.